Okay, so I just did my first day of Advent of Code, day 6, because it's the 6th of December. I guess technically it's the 7th, because it's 12:01 a.m. Anyway, so this problem, if we look at this map here, basically the goal is to see how many squares you visit before you leave the mapped area. So on a turn, you move forward one, until you reach an obstacle, which is marked by these hashtags. If you reach an obstacle, you turn right. So you go up, you'd reach this obstacle, you turn right, you reach this obstacle, you go down, you reach this obstacle, you turn right, reach this obstacle, you go up, you turn right, you go down. I think you reach this one too. And then you turn right, go over, turn right, and you leave. So anyway, you bounce around turning right when you reach obstacles until you leave the area. So the first part of the challenge is just to see, given a map like this, how many unique squares do you visit before you go out of bounds. So I answered that question with code. So first, you have to read the map into a usable format. So read it from a file, open the file for lines. So if the caret marks where you start, so you can record the coordinates you start at. Also, you don't want that caret in there when you go forward, so you replace it with a dot, which is the open square signifier. Then your line becomes this is to convert it from a string to an array of characters. And then append, so it's basically RTN, or the map, is going to be a list of lists of characters. So you return that map, the starting x coordinate, the starting y coordinate. Cur_y is the number of lines, and length of a line is the number of columns. So then you basically, to solve the problem, you want to move forward, and then if moving forward would hit an obstacle, you instead turn. So based on which direction you're going, you adjust. You have current x and current y, and then you'll get next x and next y. Next y, if you go up, next y is next y minus 1, or current y minus 1. Down, add 1 to y. Left, subtract 1 from x, etc. Then if you're out of bounds, you want to return the visited count. And then if it's a dot, make it an x. So this is so that if you only want unique visits, not total visits. So if you come back to a square, it'll be marked as x, and that'll be handled here, and nothing changes in that case, other than x and y, which were updated earlier. And your visited count increases. Otherwise, if it's not a free square, I mean, this is an obstacle. So if you're going up, turning right makes you turn right, makes you face right. Going down, turn right makes you face left, etc. And then to run the code, you do while start x, while inbounds, do this, update the count, x and y coordinates, and direction by calling move forward with these parameters. And then you I ran it on, it gives you the output for the small map. I guess it was 41. And then I just ran it with large map. Large map is this. I don't know if I showed this earlier. It's like 130 lines. So obviously you need to do it programmatically. So then that's part one. That's actually kind of easy, really. Or I don't know. It's fairly straightforward. But the next part is checking for cycles. So to check for a cycle, you basically with this map, with either of these maps, wherever you go, eventually you move out of bounds. So the second part is, can you place an obstacle so that you never go out of bounds and you just go in a circle around some number of obstacles, a cycle around some number of obstacles. So to solve that problem, the way I approached it was basically, for every square, if there's not an obstacle there, put an obstacle there and check if there's a cycle. So how do you check if there's a cycle? So to know if there's a cycle, if you're at a square and you've been there before and you're going the direction you were going when you were there before, you have a cycle. Because say you're right at this particular square and going up. If you're going up before, nothing will change. It's completely deterministic. So if you keep going up, you'll hit the same thing you hit when you were there last, and then you'll go into a cycle. So that's what I did. This was for debugging check one, but check for a cycle. You feed it the adjusted map, and then you have a visited map, and the visited map is a map of lists of strings, and the strings are directions. So if you visit a square you visited before, and the direction you're going is in the list of directions for this square, you've found a cycle. Check one checks one coordinate. That was just for debugging. And check all, if it's already an obstacle, obviously you skip it and then turn it into an obstacle. Check the cycle. So this returns 1 if there is a cycle and 0 if there's no cycle. So add 1 if there's a cycle, add 0 if there's none. And then revert it to an open square, and then return cycles. And there were 6 cycles in the small output, small graph, and then there were apparently 2,162 cycles in the large graph. So that's day 6 of Advent of Code. I am hoping to do some more of these. This was pretty fun.